So this evening we have got the wonderful illustrator Martin Brown with us to chat with us all things to do with drawing and well, deadly drawing. I think you've labelled it as horrible histories and deadly drawing. I love it. Um, Martin, thank you for coming on this evening.
Well, it's lovely to be here.
Fantastic. So I'm going to start right at the very beginning, before horrible histories. What age did you scribble your first drawing that was published?
It was published.
Yeah. Can you remember? Or what was
Well,
the drawing?
how far back do you want to go? Because I've
Oh,
always did art was my strongest subject at school.
yeah.
So, if your definition of published is quite broad, then some of the stuff that I did at school that was well received
Mm,
ended up in school magazines.
yeah.
And I did once do the cover for our high school annual magazine. I did a drawing for
Mm,
that.
mm,
Um, Otherwise, I suppose my first paid job in London, anyway,
mm.
having left Australia, was for one of those freebie magazines that were given away at tube stations.
Oh, right. Okay.
They still are to some degree, but yeah, I set myself up as a cartoonist, and I think that was probably my first job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not long after that, I started doing greetings cards, and I got a regular gig with Reader's Digest
Oh,
back
wow.
in the day.
No,
That does age me somewhat.
not at all, not at all. Now, obviously, you got your drawings on the front of your school magazine. Is that when you sort of suddenly decided this is what I want to do? This is it. I want to be an illustrator or cartoonist.
Um, no, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was always good at art at school, and I was so good at art at school that when it came to sixth form, I knew I'd get an A
Mm,
because I always did.
mm,
And consequently, because I knew I was going to get an A, I didn't have to work that hard.
right.
And so I very nearly failed. Um, and I was, my ambition was to be a graphic designer,
Oh, right.
uh,
Okay.
but I didn't have the grades for that, having
Yeah.
very nearly failed.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could get into by the skin of my teeth was being an art teacher for the secondary system in Australia, and so I went to art college to be an art teacher. But that was way too much like hard work. I
Yeah.
discovered that teachers actually no, that's I don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
Um,
Tough crowd, aren't they,
but
kids?
yeah, cartooning was just a hobby. It wasn't an ambition. It was
Yeah.
a no plans to be an illustrator.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I didn't have. I never went to college to learn those sort of techniques. I
Yeah.
was a gag smith. I wrote jokes and drew people with big noses. I mean, my heroes were cartoonists
Mm.
rather than any kind of anything resembling art.
Yeah.
Excuse the phone. Um, and Yeah, it wasn't until I was in London that
Mm.
I thought, oh, I'll try this cartooning lark
Yeah.
because I thought it'd be fun,
Mm.
but I didn't know how do you become a cartoonist? How does
Well,
anyone become a cartoonist?
exactly. I know that you'd said, I think, on your blog, on your website, you just didn't know how to do it. So how did you do it? How do you where do you even start?
Well, I suppose you build up some sort of portfolio of things that you like
Yeah.
drawing. Back in the day, long hundreds of years before the internet and being able to post things
Yeah.
and show your work to the world easily,
Mm.
um, you've got to knock on a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And I was working at an art supply shop in London, the London Graphic Centre, still there. Um, and they supplied materials and letraset and everything you can think of. Back in the days when you needed letraset, you couldn't just
Yeah.
type up whatever font you wanted. And that, apart from having all the material that anyone could ever want, any artist could ever want, they also had the names and contact details for every publisher, magazine,
Oh, wow.
newspaper, advertising agency in one of the great publishing capitals of the world.
Mm.
So I thought, it was kind of one day, I thought, crikey, if I'm ever going to be a cartoonist, all I have to do is copy down a few names and addresses,
Yeah.
um, grab a few pads, and well, that's what I did. I quit my job one day, called myself a cartoonist, and started lugging my portfolio around.
Yeah, yeah, and it clearly paid off because obviously you're best known really for the horrible history books. That's the reason why obviously you're coming to the Blandford Literary Festival. Um, so how did that come about? How did you get that gig, as it were?
Yeah, well, it's of course it starts before then. I was I wanted to be an editorial cartoonist.
Mm,
That was my ambition. Work for the newspapers, but
yeah,
there's not that many newspapers and not that many cartoonists doing that sort of work. So I had to broaden my client base, and so children's books was one of them.
mm,
And I started working with a lovely guy called Peter Corey
mm,
on his with him on his books called Coping With, and it was a jokey guide for children, coping with parents, coping with teachers, coping with boys, coping with girls, coping with school. There was a good bunch of them, coping with pets, and each of those books had a chapter, the first chapter or the second chapter, about the history of the subject, the history
mm,
of parents, the history of teachers. And we love that. We love the history stuff, all
yeah,
the costumes and things so much that uh, Peter and I did a history book, a jokey history book about Christopher Columbus,
oh,
which was to come out, or which did come out in 1992, which was
mm,
the 400th anniversary of his trip to what became America. And we loved it. We
yeah,
thought that, we wanted to do more of that. So I said to the editor, can we do a coping with history?
mm,
Just the same thing, same jokes. And she said, well, hold that thought. Something's come in that I think you might be right for. So the publishers put me and Terry Deary, who had approached them with this
yeah.
book. It wasn't the horrible histories, but
Mm.
it became the horrible histories.
Oh, right, okay,
It
that's
was,
interesting.
it wasn't he and me who got together. It was
Yeah,
the publishers who created this thing.
right.
And the editor, a lovely guy called David Fickling, um, he came up with a horrible history title.
Mm,
And then we did a couple. We did, I think we were due to do four
mm,
to go along with the Key Stage 2 history
yeah.
syllabus. And then we did a couple more after that, and then a couple more,
And just a
or a
fair
couple
few
more.
more, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then,
Dear.
30 something years go by.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, as a former librarian in a school, they were a well-thumbed book. They were always out on loan. The waiting list for when they came back in. So, it's incredible that, your drawings have helped children to sort of really get a grasp of history, because obviously all the information's in the book, but they look at the drawings, they look at the speech bubbles, it's really accessible to very able and children who maybe struggle with reading. They could pick up horrible histories and still get the gist from your cartoons. So that must be you must feel quite sort of humbled about that, I suppose, really. It's done so well.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I am very humble. I count myself as incredibly lucky.
Yeah,
It was the publisher's kind of genius to realize that a book like that needed a cartoonist
yeah,
as much as it needed an illustrator as
yeah,
such.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was a sort of a marriage of that it kind of clicked.
Yeah.
And but you're right. When people who are now who've got in their mid 30s or 40s, and they've got kids of their own,
Yeah.
and they come up and say, "I grew up on your books."
Yeah.
It really is humbling.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be part of something that's that much part of someone's, their happy memories of school days.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it doesn't stop there, does it? Because it's history. It doesn't date. So there's generation after generation of children coming through with horrible histories. And obviously it went on to make a TV program, Horrible Histories, which was hugely, or still is
Yeah.
hugely popular. Um, so, with looking to the future, obviously yours are all pen and ink drawings, aren't they? Have you ever tried? I know you said you wanted to be a graphic designer. Have you ever tried any sort of graphic cartoons with modern technology?
Um, no, no.
Mhm.
Mainly because there are people who can do it so much better than me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I could do it. I mean, I've dabbled, but
Mm,
I'd have to learn a lot, which
yeah.
I kind of like. It'd be fun to do. A bit
Mm,
like watercoloring. I'm not a great colorist,
yeah,
but one of these days I'll give it a go.
yeah,
Um, it, but I like the immediacy of the pencil.
yeah.
I'm working on the next Horrible Histories now,
Ah,
and it's kind of from brain to piece of paper
yeah,
via a pencil,
yeah,
and I like that. It really is tactile.
yeah. Absolutely. And I think it's
Um,
more personal
where
as well.
it's
It,
more personal, and if you can do anything, the wonderful thing about the technology now and Photoshop and all the other, design and drawing uh, software you can get, you really can do anything.
mm,
So it's harder, I think, to kind of have your physical style
mm,
in a drawing because
yeah,
you can make the line that you have drawn have any kind of feel that you want it to have with the
mm,
push of a button.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and my goodness, it looks wonderful.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think it would take me to do a graphic novel would probably take me 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm just that's the other thing. I am ridiculously slow.
Is that with regards to your drawing though? So how quick are you with your drawing? You must be very quick, I would have thought, with all your years experience of drawing. Do you sort of just see the picture in your mind and get it on the paper?
Yes and no. Yes, it's important to get the idea down quickly. I mean, I can
Mm,
see it. I mean, today I've been because you write a picture.
mm,
Everyone thinks it's just a question of skill or talent or something, which I don't even believe in, really. I don't believe in talent. Um, but it's important to get your idea down before it evaporates.
yeah,
But then you've got a lot of writing to do. You've got to write the picture.
yeah,
You have to do. We all do it. If you were to
mm,
draw if you or a 4-year-old child was drawing a picture of a, a landscape with a tree in it,
mm,
you decide where the tree's going to go. Is it in
mm,
the middle? Is it on the left? Is it on the right?
yeah,
If you're drawing two characters and one of them saying something, where's the speech bubble? Do you want to read the speech bubble first, or do you want to read it at the end of the picture? We read a picture from left to right.
yeah,
So all this goes into the mix. So the idea can go down quite quickly, but then I get a bit wrapped up in detail, and everything slows down because I want to. I don't know whether it's perfectionism or what, but I just um, yeah, I'm not. I'm quite a tight cartoonist. I draw things very carefully, which um, doesn't do anything for my speed.
Oh no, and I've got to be honest, they're wonderful to look at. They really are. They're a work of art, without the writing, they do paint a picture and you're very, very good at doing that. So, it's fantastic. I mean, if you were with a group of children and you had some that were wanted to be a cartoonist or an illustrator. What sort of advice would you give them?
Um, well, draw lots, obviously. It's like
Mm,
what they say about writer. If you want to be a writer, write.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, there's it's not really a secret in that
No.
regard. You know, if you want to draw, draw.
Mm,
Because of course, the more you draw, the better at it you'll get.
yeah.
And if you love drawing, if you're interested in drawing, you'll want to learn the techniques.
Yeah.
And drawing has techniques like anything else, like
Yeah.
music or sport.
Yeah.
And we all do art at school,
Yeah.
but very rarely is drawing technique
Mm.
taught.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Um, which is crazy because 4-year-olds can pick up a violin.
Mm,
6-year-olds will be taught how to hold up a tennis racket.
mm,
So there's absolutely no reason why these wonderful little people who are learning, well, everything.
mm.
They're learning to read and write at the age of 4 and 5. It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason why they couldn't be taught drawing technique.
Yeah.
So it's important to do some of that, if you're interested. And also look at what other people have done. Look what
Mm,
floats your boat. Look for what inspires you.
yeah.
My heroes, as I said earlier, were other cartoonists.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from them.
Mm,
I learned about expression and action and movement and how to pace a gag and all that sort of stuff.
mm.
So,
Yeah.
reach out for the things that inspire you. And that's easy. You go to a library.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Go to a
absolutely.
library, or, bookshops are great if you've got oodles of cash and,
Mm, mm,
all the time in the world. But
mm.
libraries are fabulous resources to just explore.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
take a book a week, a book a month, whatever it is, and just, it might click, it may not.
Yeah.
But that's the way to just see what's out there. And
Yeah.
something will inspire you, something will click.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, practice, 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 it becomes part of you, doesn't it? It becomes your passion. So that's
Well,
probably,
if it's your passion, and if it's, I don't want to be glib, but if it's fun,
yeah.
you get too many kids. I mean, what I'll be talking about possibly at Blandford is that we forget that drawing's supposed to be fun, and too many people, too many young people. I expect it from us oldies,
Yeah.
but too many people say I can't draw,
Yeah.
which is clearly rubbish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody can.
Yeah.
It's a question of, to what level you want things to look realistic,
Yeah.
and you don't have to make things realistic.
Yeah.
But if drawing's fun, then the chances are you'll do it more often. I mean,
Mm,
I guess because I loved drawing. I was drawing all the time.
mm,
But I suppose you call that practice.
mm.
But it's not like my father said, "Go and do your drawing
No, that's
practice."
right. Go learn the violin, like you say, you'd have to practice, practice. Whereas drawing, it should come second nature, as it's something you really want
Well,
to do.
some techniques will need practice. The
Mm,
fiddly bit. I don't know, light and shade and perspective and all those sort of
yeah.
technical things. That they might need some practice. But crikey, I learnt the French horn for 2 years. And at no point did it become fun. And so practice was hard work. And where drawing, I love doing it. So poring over some technicality about perspective was
Yeah.
was actually interesting.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So with the youngsters in mind, and obviously you're going to be with the Blandford Literary Festival on Saturday the 15th of November, and that's at the Methodist Church, 11:30 till 12:30. And as I said at the beginning, it's titled Horrible Histories and Deadly Drawing. What can people expect, Martin, on the day?
Well, some horrible history, I'm not quite sure what form that will take yet. I'll have it ready beforehand, don't worry.
Mm.
But there might be some bit of a quiz. Don't know. There will be something horrible, and then I'll start talking well, about drawing.
Yeah.
Um, not dissimilar to the sorts of things we're talking about,
Mm.
because it does slightly bother me that people say they can't draw,
Yeah.
or they think drawing should be realistic to be good,
Yeah.
which is also garbage.
Mm.
And I'll sort of bang on about that for a while.
Mm.
And then I'll mention my other books. I've written some things.
That's right, you have. We haven't talked about
Don't
that yet.
writers, yeah, no, well, that God, writers do bang on, don't they? Oh, the poor dears. Writing's fun.
It
Writing's
is.
great. They
Yeah.
should try illustrating for a livelihood. That's proper work. We don't have. You never heard of anyone with illustrator's block. Um, but no, I've written some nonfiction. I've written a couple of books about animals, animals that maybe most of us have never heard of.
Yeah.
Because if the tiger was going extinct, everybody would make a fuss.
Yeah.
But if the Filipino moon rat was going extinct, no one cares because no one's heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's a book about trying to show that there are other things out there
Yeah.
that perhaps deserve our attention.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
because it's not big and stripy.
Yeah.
And I've also written some fiction. I know fiction, made up stories. Who knew? And that's quite a young story. It's for early, not early readers, but they're short books. They're only about 15,000 words. It's Nell and the Cave Bear, a couple of Nell and the Cave Bear books about this little girl and her pet cave bear. And they're really gentle and they're sort of easy to read and they're fun, and I love doing those.
Yeah.
They're full of illustrations, of course.
Yeah.
So I talk about them a little bit. But then we get back to drawing, and I think we've arranged to have some flip charts then.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I'll be doing some live drawing, possibly with some assistance from the audience.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That sounds perfect. We can't wait. We're really, really excited. I must admit, it's fantastic to have you. As you say, we've all grown up with your books and seeing your drawings in Horrible Histories. And obviously, I'm just going to mention it's The Lesser Spotted Animals is your book, and Lesser Spotted Animals 2, which you've done as well. So I'm just going to mention the titles of those. We'll get to see you in action, which is fantastic. We can't wait. Now, I've taken up a lot of your time, and there are still so many questions, but obviously, anybody that comes along on Saturday will be able to have a bit of a chat with you anyway, won't they? I'd imagine at some point during the session, ask questions maybe.
Well, yeah, even if we don't get around to questions, because usually I hit the buffers and forget about questions, and someone's going to drag me off. But I don't think there's going to be a bookshop or there are book sales there. But by all means, bring anything you want me to sign.
Yeah.
And if there is a signing table or somewhere like that,
yeah,
that's the time when you can quiz me and show me what you've been drawing, and we happily have a chat.
That's
then.
fantastic.
So if I don't get a chance to speak to you during the show, I can certainly catch up afterwards.
That's fantastic. Well, Martin, thank you so much for having a quick chat with us this evening. We really do thank you. It's a precious time, I know. But hopefully that's the end of your day now and you can stop working because it really is dark. So.
Yeah, indeed.
And we will see you on Saturday, the 15th of November at the Methodist Church. All right.
Brilliant. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good. All right. Speak to you soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.